Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. Hope you enjoy. Story number 1. Humans Tricked a Rock to Think. Written by Random 3X. Quixar looked over the documents handed to him regarding the newly discovered species that identified itself as humans. They had met with the ambassadors from the shell, and a general exchange of information had been agreed to. Nothing too groundbreaking so far. The shell had encountered many other species and been able to create bonds that lasted even to this day. The problem, though, was that he had been given pages upon pages of gobbledygook. "These are human-specific script?" Quascar asked his assistant.
Hard to say, sir.
His assistant stuttered.
Our ambassador spoke to them having a decent ability to convey information in person.
He quickly added, Quixar tapped his chin in thought. "Perhaps they are a species with many languages, like the Vistari," he pondered aloud.
"Maybe it would be quicker to speak to a human directly. They can clear up any misunderstanding and maybe even offer a way to translate what they have provided,"
his assistant offered.
"Yes, sir. That seems to be the best option. Hopefully they didn't send us indecipherable nonsense in bad faith,"
Quixar said, nodding to his assistant.
"Sir?"
The assistant tilted his head in confusion.
"Well, I mean, they may have purposely sent us."
He gestured to the documents covered in lines and O's to occupy us
while we skulk away without kindly offered clear information,
Quixar finished explaining.
I see. If they did do that, it'd be rather devious, but I shall send a communique right away, sir."
The assistant gave a quick bow before rushing out of the office. Quixar could only watch the man as he wondered what the response would be. He didn't need to wait long for a response. Within the day, a human representative had arrived and was all smiles.
"Hey, pleasure to meet you, Sir Quixar. My name is Captain Klein."
He bobbed his head in a gesture of respect.
"Well met, Sir Klein. We were hoping that you could aid us with these."
Quixar gestured to what was becoming a truly mountainous pile of documents.
"We requested your assistance as the information you provided to us is in a form that we cannot comprehend,"
Quixar explained.
"Odd. The information we received from you is being translated by our computers already,"
Klein explained with a confused expression. Calmly walking over, he looked over the pages piled up. Quixar closely observed the human's expressions. He was sure the human would say it was a simple script, and they would offer some way to translate it. Only he didn't. Quixar watched the man's brow furrow as he was bewildered.
"That's odd,"
he muttered.
"Pardon, Sir Klein?" Quixar asked.
"Well, I can't make head nor tails of this," he answered. "I saw what we sent, and it wasn't this."
"So it is indecipherable?" Quixar asked.
"Well, no. It can be deciphered. I'm just wondering why it's all in binary,"
he asked aloud.
"Binary?"
Quixar repeated.
"Yes, ones and zeros. I'm not much of a computer guy myself, but it's how our computers convey information," he explained.
"Ah, so it is a language unique to your computers. Ours probably didn't know what to translate it as, so they provided the base version,"
Quixar said, snapping his fingers at the realization.
"Oh, your computers don't use binary?
I'm sure our techies would love to look at them. Might be able to install a way for it to understand binary," Klein offered with a smile. "Install?" Quixar repeated, confused. "Do they have the necessary genetic growth chemicals to do such a thing?"
Quixar asked.
No, sorry, I'm confused. Why would we need genetic whatsits to install a way to read binary?" Klein asked. "Well, all computers are organic. We make large synthetic thinking beings that do all the calculations and processing we need," Quixar explained. "It should be in the information we provided you," he added, tilting his head in confusion.
"Wow."
Klein took a step back in surprise.
"Organic computers," he muttered to himself. "No wonder why yours only spat out ones and zeros," he continued muttering.
"Sir Klein, is everything okay?" Quixar asked, concerned for his representative's well-being.
"Yes, I'm fine. It's just a bit of a culture shock. You see, Sir Quixar, we don't use organic computers," Klein explained.
But we have seen the machines you control. They could only be controlled by a high-grade organic computer, Quixar exclaimed in surprise.
Well, we use silicon, I think,
Klein answered unsurely.
As I said, I am not a techie, so not 100% on that.
You use inorganic computers?
Quixar asked, even more shocked than Klein had been.
Such a thing is deemed impossible. Only that which is living can deign to think.
Well, I have a friend that put it like this. Humans went out and tricked the rock into thinking,
Klein explained. Quixar was speechless. He was aware these humans were a different sort from what they had met thus far. But to be able to make a thinking machine out of rocks was beyond absurd. But the proof was already in front of him. The only thing that he could think to do at this moment was laugh. End of story. Story number 2. Robotic Warfare, written by Incredibilis Ho. As I sit here and record my thoughts of these past 3 years, we have fought a battle that was already doomed from the very start. See, the world of Ezric IV is a fertile and habitable world for both of us, Hutate and humanity. We Hutate obviously have superior military and economic strength. As such, the world is to be ours. That is how nature works. That is how society works. The humans disagree. According to them, because they found it first, it should be theirs. Besides, this reasoning being problematic, it wasn't really troubling to us. We just flex our military muscles and capture the world via force. And so I and the 15th, 18th, and 13th Land Divisions and the 7th Fleet was sent to capture the world. An easy enough task. The humans are weak, both individually and on a larger scale. Or so we thought. The first assault went relatively well, capturing the world within a few weeks and hunting down the last remnants of human forces. Until then, all they had for forces were a few security guards, meant to accompany the scientists who were investigating the planets. However, the humans and their fondness for science wouldn't aid them in war. Or so we thought. See, our naval contingent was caught off guard, and a few human transport ships managed to land onto the planet. No big deal. Our fleet managed to destroy the rest. Millions of lives lost. However, for the first time in this entire invasion, something didn't go to plan. See, Ezric IV is a tropical world. The forest is dense and wet. As such, all organics, with the exception of those who evolved to deal with the humidity in such environments, are usually uncomfortable. However, these forces who have landed onto the planet didn't seem uncomfortable at all. The humans, being quite fond of their ranged weaponry, used snipers to attempt to take down our leadership, with some success. However, we did not manage to locate or even wound any of the snipers. When we tried to find them using normal means of tracking down organics, such as heat, we failed. Of course, there were technologies to prevent soldiers being found using normal means. We wrote it off as them being elites, trained to not be found and equipped with the best possible equipment. Then, we found them on a field of battle, a glorious battle. Our race's affection for battle was second to none, and we were good at it too. The humans were clad in layer after layer of armor. Most of us were mown down by an almost robotic precision. We suffered a horrendous amount of casualties. The few humans we did manage to take down were via explosives. But we continued fighting, even with our force being decimated. However, morale was getting lower and lower by the day. On the home front, some inferior races who were subjugated were getting courageous after seeing us lose. Of course, other military forces managed to subdue these rebellious outbursts. And so we marched on, their snipers picking us off from afar, and any skirmishes we did have with them were fought on their terms. Our victories were either incredibly pyrrhic or we were defeated outright. They kept losing ground, they kept retreating, we kept advancing. However, worlds are round. Then they had nothing to protect, nothing to lose. they could retreat. Morale kept dropping. One more of these victories or another defeat, and they'd start mutiny. This wasn't a tangible enemy which one could defeat and claim victory over. These things came out of the dark and decimated our lines before disappearing into the jungle. We couldn't track them, we couldn't even try and shoot back. We were chasing ghosts. However, we were apex predators by nature. We would be victorious. As such, our commander devised a plan, a trap. We would lure them into a trap. 2 battalions of infantry would appear to be cut off and lagging behind. The ghosts would strike and try to decimate them, but the 2 battalions would be reinforced by the 13th and 18th divisions, or what was left of them. It worked for the first time in this entire damned war. We managed to capture one of them. We opened the tin can the human was hiding inside, only to find out that there was no human. We'd been fighting machines, walls of iron and steel. At this revelation, a large part of the 13th Division rebelled, aided by a small part by the 15th. And now I sit here, one of the few loyal remaining soldiers of the expedition sent into the slaughterhouse. Their fondness for technology, their reverence for life, most certainly does have its place in war. End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and patrons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Barkey, it's difficult to pronounce, Lord Azrakul, and Arcadian.